Hi there, this is Jim the Keys bartender. Welcome back. We're going to be joined in a moment by Steve. I want to thank, before we start out, I want to thank one of our sponsors, new sponsor. It's Bellissima wine. It's Bellissima Prosecco and sparkling wines. It's organic wines from Italy. Chrissy Brinkley owns the vineyard, and they're known for. She's been a vegetarian for years and all that stuff, and she makes a wonderful organic product. And if you enjoy the show and you want to show some love to the show, and you like really good wine, Prosecco and sparkling wines, all organic. They also have the sugar-free one if you're on a special diet. So they have that also. All you have to do is go to our website, www.keysbartender.com. Go to sponsors, hit the sponsors link, and it'll be a link for them. I'd like to thank you, Steve, for joining us today. Are you there?
Sure, happy to be here.
Oh, good. So how are things at the
things are going well, things are good.
You're keeping it together?
Oh yeah, we're keeping it together. We're in a groove now. We've got this thing down to a science.
Yeah. You ever seen Bowfinger, that Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin movie?
Yeah, I think a long time ago I saw it.
Yeah, it was keeping it together was a kind of a mantra. Eddie Murphy belonged to a Scientologist group, and he was Eddie Murphy's character was Kit Harington, I think. Not Kit Harington. Kit Harington's actually the guy from Game of Thrones. Kit something or other.
That's right.
And he was kind of an action hero. And he belonged, I guess he was kind of like Tom Cruise in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, so he belonged to this group that was kind of like Scientology. And whenever he started getting nutty, the head of the group said, "What do we say? What do we do? What do we always do?" And he goes, "Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together. K-I-T. Keep it together." So you got to remember that when shit's going down, you just got to keep it together. And
that's the theme.
Yeah. I do that. I try to do that through meditation, and I always have my program. I don't know what do you do to unwind?
Drink.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that.
We'll have some wines with dinner. We've been watching a lot of Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of, just trying to, like you said, keep it together, not get
Netflix,
bent out of shape about things.
Later on,
yeah,
we're going to talk about some of that maybe. But what off the top of your head, what's your new? What have you been binge watching on Netflix?
We're actually just halfway through the first season of Ozark right
mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
Have you watched that?
I have. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
So we're liking it.
Yep. And you're kind of sparse. Did you see through? Did you go through anything else yet? Did you finish up something? It's been.
Before that, I watched we watched the first season of Lock and Key. That's kind of a newer one. It's kind of a comic book based show. You heard of that one, Lock and Key?
Yeah. British, right?
No, it's not British. No, it's.
What is it?
Might be thinking of something else.
Lock.
It's a comic book show. It was a comic book originally.
Oh, I know. I know what it is. It's kind of like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe kind of thing, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, with the magic
right.
entry portals and all that stuff. I did start.
Yeah,
I did take a look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Good. Well, we'll get into that. What I wanted to open up with, on the title of the show. The title of the show is "Get Off My Fucking Lawn," and there's a picture of the sign. What did I say? I said the sign says, "Do not come down this street if you don't live on this street." A big sign at the entrance of the street on Big Coppet Key in the Keys.
Mm-hmm.
It's another kind of the fucking thing. Remember that little impromptu protest that was up on Route 1
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago? This
Sure.
one, it's just like, as things are starting to kind of like level out, now's the time.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned on the last show that people, or I don't know if it was, I was talking to you or Joel, that in movies, there's always someone during a disaster movie or as something going wrong, there's always a character that loses his shit.
Yeah. Right. Like George Costanza. Yeah.
Yeah, like George Costanza. Yeah, it was you. It was all, any of the disaster movies in the Titanic. It was Billy Zane. You know, he jumps on the boat.
Yeah.
You know, in the older movies, the Towering Inferno. There's people that it's just like, oh fuck it, I'm getting on, and they're the first ones to die. In there, they lose. They lose it. And they also start showing like assholes in the. They're the first ones to be like, don't let them in, and they're the people. They're the last to try to save somebody if they're on there. So the big copy key sign. Someone posted on Facebook, and there was maybe 2 people kind of defending it, and then there was. Even though it really could. I'm going to use it. I saved the picture, so someone said you can't make it shareable. Now I copied the picture. Now I can just repost it. So I'm going to make it shareable.
Right.
I'm going to make it shareable, and hopefully we're going.
Oh yeah.
Supposedly it's right before the bridge. Someone, if you go to the post, if you look for the post, if you search on Facebook, Big Copy Key, and you search under post, it'll be about 4 or 5 posts down. And we're going to put that on there. But there's people saying, I'm purposely going to go down to that street now and drive down there. And they said, we're going to get people and run down the street. So it's a public street. It's owned by the county or whoever pays it. It's not a private. Obviously, there's, if it's a gated community, like obviously Ocean Reef, if you don't have legitimate business there, you don't go there. No one restrict. If you have a driveway, obviously not a driveway. So the people that went on someone said, well, people don't want them driving down the road because there's kids there. Like, who the fuck doesn't have kids down here? And the streets,
they're everywhere.
Yeah, and there's streets, and the people that live on that street. Oh, they're not fucking driving down anybody else's street. Bullshit.
Right.
The Keys, there's no place. We got one road. If we don't go down someone else's street, then you're just going down the same road back and forth. That's all you do. I don't get that at all. It's just
So was this just like one of the homeowners that lived on the street posted this?
Oh yeah, the first one, and I don't know if someone drew on the sign yet, but I imagine people said, well, I think that's illegal. You can't close off your street. You can close it off maybe for like a block party or something like that. Maybe you could do something like that temporarily.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can close it down.
Right.
And you know what? If they do close it down, if there's a emergency, they should say, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can't go down that street then." They need a police department. If they need a sheriff's department or an EMT or fire department, then fuck you. We're not going there. Or mosquito control. Oh, we won't spray because we don't live there.
Right.
So.
Are you said, "Don't come down our street." Don't come down.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you'd be of like mine there. Uh, there's places down here when I ride my bike all over when I go down and go down different
Yeah.
streets so I could see different sites. And people do every so often. People are like, "What are you doing down here?" Like, hey, you're not. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like people. It's just like I don't want you in my street. On my street, it's like wow. It's kind of getting a little nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, people just can't handle
Hey,
the shit.
Liz and I go for runs, and we go down streets to the water, just to check out the water and stuff all the time, So yeah, I mean it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that.
Yeah. And I sent you a list of topics, and I just didn't want to ambush you this time. Today on Alexa, we were listening to, for some reason, Abby, we listen to Spotify. I don't know how you listen to music, but we'll just say like U2 radio or rock music of the rock of the 80s or something like that, and I'll play that. Well, it put on a Miami radio station. It was club music. It was pretty good music, actually. But they started going, they said, 97.3 FM, the quarantine radio station. That's what they said. Said, your quarantine radio station. And I could go, well, maybe if they can do it, maybe I could do Florida Keys bartender. Oh my God, I should have done that right away. I should have made that the title. Your quarantine podcast. When you have nothing else
there
to do.
You go.
When you ran out of everything. We're like number 3 number 3. We're probably number 30. We're right, number 29 is popping all the packing bubbles, And number 28 is resorting out your sock drawer. Yeah. So for number 30, your quarantine podcast. Listen to all 300, and we do have what do we have? 254 hours of podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, that's over a week worth of listening for 24 hours, which I wouldn't suggest that you do.
Pretty good.
If you did, I'd probably go into. If someone listened to all that at one time, I'd want to go into witness protection. I think we'd be. But then I thought about I thought about the quarantine radio station. I just say, how long did that take to do? I mean, when did they decide to do that? Last week, this Monday? It couldn't have been. And people said, but it's smart because I think of all the branding stuff. If you watch Netflix, but every so often we just get a little news to see what the development's on. We don't leave it on all day. We'll just get what's the new thing, and we'll probably not, try not to listen to the news conferences unless it's one of the experts talking. And we'll get to that later about who's an expert or not. But the commercials are interesting. Like there's insurance companies kind of make sense. They say, in case during this trying times we're here. And Allstate, I think Allstate came out and said, because you're not driving that much, we're giving a rebate back to our customers. Wow.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's pretty good.
That's fucking awesome.
I think a lot of them are doing that.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? There's companies that aren't doing anything really. Like maybe AT&T, they might be doing. They did a little rebate maybe or something like that. But they're hitting you up with the same bills, And the thing about these internet services companies, it's not like they're laying out, other than salaries and stuff like that, they're not laying a huge amount of product. You know what I'm saying? It's mainly in labor and things like that. We're not asking, the gas company to give away gas or anything like that, but maybe you should give away some of your profit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Give
Sure.
for a time and say, listen, we're understanding that a lion's share of our people aren't wealthy, and then maybe we'll we'll just we'll stretch it out across. They said it's going to be for a couple months. Maybe we could do a 40% rollback temporarily, or so make it something big, and
Yeah.
it would really. I'll tell you, if some people start doing that, it just starts making people remember that. They remember the people that do the price gouging and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it's goodwill.
Yeah, it is goodwill.
Yeah, sure.
And you see,
Yeah.
and then people that do the commercials, you see the commercials for, what was that one for? They always, healthcare workers, retail workers and all that, thank you. And it's a company you never even heard of or something like
Right.
that. And that's nice. That's a goodwill one. They just threw it out there and he said, well, we're not going to do. But the weird ones I saw, there was this, a local, I know they're probably giving some of the local stations, they go, well, there's nobody buying, the car companies, they were trying to sell vehicles and they were trying to get me, Chevy called me up to see if I wanted to buy a car. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, you don't have any place to fucking go. Why would you need a new car? But,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, 3 months free, no payment, 4 months, no payment. They try it for a little while, and it's kind of, they are giving away, but they're also trying to move their product. They realize they're going to be sitting on a lot of product. And in the end, a lot of people losing their jobs and stuff like that. There won't be a lot of people buying cars, stuff like that. If you lose,
Right.
if 15, 16% of the people in the United States lose their job, that's people that won't be purchasing new cars. So, and there's some people going on, they're just going to be drug companies. They're still running a lot of commercials. Humira,
Right. Sure.
the class action lawsuit, mesothelioma. Holy shit! That must be 20 to 50 to 60 billion dollars because they're always running that fucking commercial. And when you hear mesothelioma, they always got that. But then there's a lawn service company. Like people going, you're home and you're going, and I guess if people think they're looking at a lawn, they say maybe you should get the lawn fixed or something. I don't know, but they were laying out a lot of money, and people thinking, I don't think they're going to be concentrated on the lawn. And this, what's it called, the Greek Brothers or something? There's a local moving company called Greek Brothers or something like that, and he spends the first 20 seconds of his commercial thanking all the medical and emergency responders, which I thought was nice.
Right.
But who the fuck do you think is going to be moving right now? Who needs to move? I mean, who's going to be moving stuff? Who's going to be buying stuff that needs to be moved? Property. You see real estate, like real estate people still posting, look at this property. Like, holy shit. You think someone's really, I mean, if you're in the middle of the process of moving, if someone's closing, I understand that. But initiating a sale right now, it's got to be crazy, I mean, I don't know what you're thinking. The only thing, I mean, I can't imagine liquor companies aren't sound, oh my God, a liquor company say, if you're fucking stuck in here, you should have someone with a bunch of kids yelling and stuff like that. And it should say, now more than ever, vodka. You got all these fucking people screaming in the background and stuff like that. That's something. I mean, I know if the group I belong to is, that 12-step group, they should be, I mean, if they needed to make money, they should be, this is the time for them to advertise because there's a shitload of people that used to be in the program that are out of the program. And there's some people that are going to find out, wow, I got a serious drinking problem. When you don't have any place to go, when you're not, that's when people really find it. Okay, well, I wanted to talk about social media too. Just, did you see anything? Do you notice any trends, like any weird stuff? I noticed that people have a lot of free time on their hands. They used to have it before, but they There's more people with free time now. You ever seen a horseback thing? You ever seen a horse thing? It's where a girl with long hair, right? And she'll get.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like remember.
Dancing.
Yeah, it's really like it hits it, and everyone does. Like there's people that. I'm kind of hacky sometimes. I try not to be hacky. I try to create.
Right.
And I try not to, but that's hacky. If I see someone did something, I'll share something that someone created. It was great. But that horseback. So for the listeners, what it is a girl with, there could be two people. It could be a guy or a girl, whatever, and stuff like that. Person has a cowboy hat. Girl has long hair. She leans. They're facing the camera. She puts her hair is facing down. You just see her shoulders, arms down, right? And it looks like the ass end of a horse with the tail coming down. And then you have someone up front with a hat, and they pretend to be like trotting along in the front. It looks like the ass end of a horse, and you see someone riding on. It looks like they may be riding, but there's just two people in a row there. So it's kind of was amusing the first time I seen it. It wasn't the 10th time, And then
it was for like half a second. It was amusing.
Have you seen the YouTube video of Tammy and Daryl?
No.
Okay, Tammy is this.
I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now. What am I?
Oh, look at Tammy and Daryl. Some heavy-set white woman from the South with blonde hair. If you put Tammy and Daryl.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, Tammy and her sausage biscuits. Oh my God. The first one was funny, and there was like 500,000 hits. I mean, she made her nut on this one. I hope she did. I hope she got it, because she did a post where I guess the first one was serious, where she says she was sending her boyfriend Daryl. She said she had a hankering for sausage biscuits, and she sent Daryl down to McDonald's to get it. But the police officer caught Daryl, and it was around Christmas, right?
Right.
I mean, it really, I guess, with a lot of people have a chance. It was a little further down the list, and now she has her own kind of thing on what to do with a party, and she brought her friend in, and it's trailer park chic at best, But it's
looks like they're going through a bunch of drive-throughs and stuff.
yeah. So that's Tammy and Daryl. That's it. And so you got that. You got people making their own mask. They're posting pictures of that. The YouTube thing I saw today, and this one's current. It's a British mother talking to her toddler, her 3-year-old. It looks like 3, 2, 3, just learning how to talk, right? And she goes, the mother goes, McDonald's isn't delivering, and the kid starts crying. What? KFC isn't delivering. What? And she goes, how about Chinese food? And with barely able to talk, little kid. How about Chinese food? She goes, no deliveries. And then she goes, Nando's. And he goes, no delivery. And the kid breaks down. And you hear people laughing. And the mom goes,
really?
It looks like you're going to have to eat mommy's food now. Mommy's cooking food. And that kid goes wailing crazy, right? And it's funny. It's funny. Because obviously this kid's cared for. The worst thing in the world is the kid doesn't get KFC or McDonald's or, And then finally, she's in the middle of crying, and you hear people off the camera laughing, and then finally she goes, oh, yeah, Pizza Hut isn't delivery. And the kid looks over her, and that was the final one, the thing that put her over, like right over the top. Like she looked at her and go, she broke her spirit. And, oh, my God. It was posted today. I bet today there was 500,000 views of it. I bet tonight there's going to be like 20 million views. It's hilarious. And he edited it down, and they'll try to make a sequel of it, just like Charlie Bit My Finger. Had to see that one. Yeah,
Right.
Charlie Bit My Finger, and I just went after I saw that little kid thing. I went down to the one. There was one in Alabama or Mississippi where some guy broke into someone's house in the hood, and this kind of gay black dude comes out and he says, hide your kids, hide your wife. They're raping everyone here, and stuff like that. Oh, it's one of those YouTube sensations. So you got people doing videos,
Wow.
Obviously Bat Dad's gone. Bat Dad.
Yeah, you got a lot of videos.
Yeah, Bat Dad. I mean, there's that little kid thing that you never know what's going to be the big one. You never know what the big one is. But there's going to be a lot of hacky stuff coming up. See, Tammy and Daryl dead already, and this little girl's like the new Johnny come, and that little girl's going to be big for like 2 days, and that'll be it. But then on Facebook, like people that never spend time on Facebook, I'm tired of talking about coronavirus and stuff like that. It was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. It was like, show me your 5th picture, or show me your 14th. Don't cheat. Like, who knows? No one's posting any pictures. I've never seen any boob shots or anything. There's on your camera roll. No one showed any embarrassing pictures of themselves, But if you randomly selected the one of the last 16 pictures, especially in the last 2 weeks, there's going to be some embarrassing photo there. But there could be a chain of 100 of them, and I wouldn't see any. They're trying to pick the best ones. And then, so that was out there for a while, which, I did that maybe 2 years ago when someone says post, just 6 picture, and I said, oh, that's cute. And then I saw 10 other people do it, and I said, fuck it, take your own pictures. And then this new one, they go on Facebook, show me on your roll something that's blue, right? Or show me on your roll something that's orange, and you got to go and these people and they're doing puzzles, seek and find in the pictures and all that shit. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. And I told you about I've been going to these Zoom meetings for my program. And when the first 2 days, there was people bombing them and stuff like that. And now they got a handle on it because I haven't seen one of them. I haven't seen one of them happen again. No gay porn or someone showing a dick or anything or saying something. Just regular people there, which it's pretty cool. They responded. And people, I mean, now I don't know what these guys are doing. And they were not that sophisticated, the people that were doing this stuff. But the
Zoom got that locked down pretty quick.
They did. I mean, I won't ask you what you use for your meetings, but there's WebEx, there's GoToMeetings.
We use Zoom and Slack also.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you use password protection and stuff like that, you're pretty good there with that, right? Yeah. Right. And the next big thing, how everyone, the herd mentality here, the Tiger King. You ever hear about that?
That's next on our list to watch, I guess. I don't know. I'm not. It doesn't really intrigue me too much, but Liz wants to watch it, so we'll probably watch it. It has something for everyone.
Let me explain. If the content, sometimes the content, it's more nuanced than you think. It's much more nuanced than you think. Okay. The people are trashy in it, but holy crap, the way they delve into it. Let me just say this: in the beginning, they got a long lead up before they start, right? The show, the documentary, and this one guy says, I'm paraphrasing: people who collect exotic animals are a strange bunch, but the people that are into big cats are pieces of shit. Yeah. That's what the guy said. And then you started hearing, you go, oh, well, the first guy
Wow.
they started showing, the Tiger King and all that stuff, he's like, you think he's the worst. You think he's the worst guy in the world, right? He's, gay.
Right.
Not that that makes him horrible, but he looks like a hillbilly,
Right.
redneck, likes guns, but he's gay and he's a polygamist. He married two other guys, right? And they're kind of real. They
Wow.
make Tammy and Daryl look like the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really do. The guys are they're and then they introduce these other people who are in the big cat community, and they start talking trash about this guy, right? But and they let them talk and let them talk and let them talk, and then they find out about them, and then you find out about them, and they uncover stuff about them, and it's kind of like it's nuance, meaning it's nuance. It gets deeper and deeper, and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm just moving my hands together. I'm just saying, it's amazing, and I was losing my faith in humanity when I'm watching this show, so I stopped watching that. Okay,
Stop.
it's much it's much more nuanced. I was shocked at the it's one of those things, I guess, that it writes itself. The story writes itself.
Right.
And
Sure.
the person that fell upon it and started talking about it, and you go, yeah, I can see them pitching it to Netflix. Well, who gives a shit? Okay, well, Tigers. It was, oh, you want to see someone? And you know what? There was there was there was a woman who had her arm taken by one of the big cats, right? And on
Really.
one of these places, but she is not the most intriguing person in that on the show. Yeah, that's what it's
Really.
like. Yeah, so that's fun. So I want to eventually. I'm going to get to these two subjects because I want to talk about those superheroes things, but I want to finish up with that because I think you're going to need a little time with that. I want you to think of percolate
Yeah.
with that. Who would deal with what? How they deal with it? Okay. And I'm going to ask your opinion about this. Just the last couple days, they've required people to wear masks when they go into these supermarkets now, and some, it's I don't know if the state's requiring or the stores are requiring, but it's a requirement. I've seen it. I saw it today when I went and got some of the stuff we needed for Easter. Okay, and we were,
Yep.
up until, when it started becoming a thing, I started, you start seeing some people wear masks, some people, and then I saw a doctor not wearing it. I felt, you know what? I started, when I'm wearing it and other people aren't wearing it, they're looking at you like, hey, you pussy, like that. And now everyone's doing it.
Right.
And everyone's,
Right.
using the gloves. So I seen a, young girl, I seen a doctor and his wife not wearing a mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's not the kind of doctor who works in a hospital, but it's kind of into Eastern medicine and stuff like that. But it is a doctor. They do have they're not an MD, but they are a doctor. But I understand. I wonder if they don't understand when you see like a young person doing it and they're dealing with someone in retail. The person that has
Right.
to be behind the counter. Now, you go out and you don't protect yourself. That's on you, fucking you, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you're asymptomatic. You can go up, you can lick all the posts that you want and stuff like that. But do they not understand when they say asymptomatic, just because you don't show the signs doesn't mean you don't have the signs and then you can't get someone. You're not infectious. Or you are. You could be infectious and not show the signs. So
Of course.
So if you're doing it and thinking, I don't give a shit, are you too dumb not to understand it, or you don't believe it, right? And
Yeah.
right now it's for the other people. You wear it for the other people,
Absolutely.
not for yourself. It's like
Yeah.
if you went
Yeah.
into a like a Jewish funeral at a synagogue, right? If they wanted me to, I would put on a yarmulke out of respect.
Right.
I'm doing it for them, not for me. Now, I'm talking to the lowest base of understanding. If you think it would make other people comfortable, then you should do that. Now, if you believe in science and being asymptomatic and you could be a carrier, maybe you should be wearing that mask. You don't have to agree with me with that, Steve. I don't know what are you doing when you go out? And I just called everyone.
Yeah, we're masking up.
Yeah. Okay. I put you in a difficult situation because it would have been like, well, you're an asshole, you know. Well, wait. Let me put that.
I'm with you.
No, let me put that thing in. What was this? If you don't, let's get Tina in there. If you don't, I don't know if you don't mask up, you are.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
Okay.
I heard it barely.
Okay. Well, maybe they had it. You are an asshole. So when I was talking about the news conferences and the way my sister called me an asshole because I didn't accept the president's views on the drug. I mean, I wait for the, Fauci and Birx to talk about it, not him necessarily, because he barely knows shit.
Right.
So she called me an asshole because I said, well, listen, you shouldn't be taking advice from the president on medical advice. You could take him for all the other stupid shit that you listen to him about. But the last thing you should take his advice for, and she called me an asshole. And I said, I have a hierarchy of people I take advice from about the this thing. And I put doctors first, but on the top of the doctors is an epidemiologist. That's what they do, an epidemiologist. And then there's the people underneath, the MDs, internal medicines, and stuff like that. And then you got to take with a grain of salt certain people, depending on what they did, there's internship and residence in. There's osteogyno, pediatrician. And then you got a number two, people that are in the peripheral medical. And I include nurse practitioners up there with those guys, But then there's a tier two, and that's the pharmacist, the dentist, and the podiatrist or chiropodist, or a chiropractor, They're just, that's not their thing, but they're still up there. They know some things and stuff like that. They did take some medicine.
Sure.
And then there's everyone else, You got the cashier at CVS, got the pizza delivery guy, you got Carl the mechanic, you got the old lady with the yappy fucking dog. They're all in the same thing. You got the kid, your neighbor, next door neighbor. And right on the bottom, and what I put all the way on the bottom is the president. I put him number 5. He's number 5 on my list. Like, that's the last person I take advice from on that. I'll take a kid. I'll take that kid that was crying over not getting Pizza Hut advice, But I just don't take his. It's not my advice. But we are at the critical moment here. It is 39 minutes. I wanted to talk about. You're the owner of Key Largo Comics. You're somewhat. You're the expert. If I have to. Hey, would you be willing to, if you ever want to go on to another show? I'm pretty good with comics, I think, but I'm not anything like. My knowledge is from. Christ, 44 years ago, 45. But then I followed the movies and stuff like that. But the comic book thing, I was spending it on. I saw one YouTube video. This is one YouTube video again. It said like how I changed, and when I was 12 and 13, it was always on. I would spend money on comic books first, and then it was beer and all that stuff after that. But one lady goes, it was some big jackpot, and she goes, what would you do if you win it? And he goes, cocaine and hookers. And she goes, whoa, I didn't expect that. And they kept it on the air. That was great.
Right.
Cocaine. It's like two things. He goes, cocaine and hookers. It was great. It was great. I love that guy. Yeah. Oh man. The guy isn't a liar, man. You know. If I ever could get a hold of that guy, I would just get him on the show. So you're a Marvel guy, right?
I all of it.
All of
Everything.
it.
Marvel,
Okay.
DC,
Okay.
whatever.
Let me hit. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with the. I'm gonna go with the big top ones to deal with it in the beginning. Like DC is more,
Okay.
I guess. We go with Superman. How would he deal with the COVID-19 crisis?
Right.
He really couldn't do much, could he?
Yeah, I mean,
He's got that super brain.
He's all about like feats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's all about like feats of strength and things like that. I don't think he'd be too effective.
Yeah. Batman? No. Nothing.
Who?
Batman. I mean, he could
he's got
invest
nothing.
money.
He's got nothing.
He could come. Well, he does work on serums and all that stuff every so often. You know?
Yeah, right.
He does.
I mean, you'd have to
Wayne Enterprises.
to get like the super intelligent, heroes or who would have to kick into action, to try to figure out, vaccine or something. Or,
Yeah. And Aquaman, all he has to do is stay underwater, right?
Well, he could avoid it, sure.
He could just avoid. His power would be just staying in, talking to his fish friends.
Right.
Wonder Woman would go to
Now, if you
her island, her hidden island.
sure.
That's they can.
Now, if you're talking about like if you're talking about the superheroes from The Boys, they wouldn't give a shit. They would just let everybody die.
Yeah, no, they would kill. They would use it as an opportunity to kill the superheroes. But
Exactly.
but in Marvel, you have guys that are specially suited for it. And pick one, and I'll pick one.
Okay.
I'll pick it. Okay. I have Ant-Man.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure. That's a
Ant-Man.
good one because you could, shrink down and just run away from the virus.
No, not. I mean, I'm talking about look at it. You could break it down. You could see it on the molecular level.
Okay, so you're not talking about avoiding it. You're talking about like fixing it.
Oh yeah, I'm saying Aquaman could always do anything, fix it. Like Superman can't do anything. Batman could use Wayne Enterprises. Peter Parker. He can use he's not. Well, you take a picture. He says sucks.
Yeah, I would probably go with either Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Or, he could do some crazy shit with other dimensions, that type of thing, and figure something out to get rid of it.
You'd look at actually he did that
or,
thing in Civil War or whatever, not the Civil War, the Endgame, where he looked at all the different scenarios, and he could find out
exactly
which what do they call that? Serum or what?
Which scenario, which combination leads to, success. He would figure it out, and then, he would
which
make it happen.
inoculation
So,
would work best.
or
what's the best cure
exactly.
in the end? There's
exactly.
Okay.
And then he could set that in motion. So I'm going with Doctor Strange.
Well, then the science guys there is Bruce the Hulk.
Yeah, Bruce Banner
because
along the same lines
he's kind of a chemist.
Right.
I mean,
or
gamma
Reed
radiation.
Richards of the Fantastic Four.
What if gamma radiation? What if gamma radiation made it into a super virus? So he got it.
Oh man,
and he
that
sneezed,
would be bad.
and he sneezed, and then social distance would be 5,000 miles. You know what I mean? Because it's the Hulk, and he sneezes.
Right. That would
Just
be
not wipe off
the Hulk,
the
Hulk
surface
world.
of the United States gone. You know.
Yeah.
So he.
Right.
How about because there's so many. There's the mutants. There's the X-Men. There's that girl.
Right.
What's her name? The one. The one who had the early onset gray hair. That was in it. The
Rogue.
Penguin. Anna Penguin. Yeah, Rogue.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
could,
Rogue.
She could suck it out of someone, or does she? She'd
Well,
be the
she
best one to
basically-
copy
her
it.
superpower is, she mimics the superpowers of other heroes. She can like absorb them and make them her own. So
Yeah, so she might be.
So I don't know if that would work.
Yeah. Magneto would be completely useless. Doctor.
Yeah.
The Doctor, not Jane Grey. Well.
Jean Grey, Professor X.
Yeah. The what's his name? God, I have early onset dementia. Who was Hugh Jackman? Wolverine. He just wouldn't get it. So, well, I mean, Wolverine, you just use his.
He wouldn't get it.
Just get his blood serum.
He's just like, he's immune. Now, you might be able to like use his blood as an immunity or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a ton of them. There'd probably be someone like that could just manipulate it and make it into something benign. Could strip it across from it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, to just strip it away. But there's a lot of cases there aren't anybody really that would be suited to Brainiac. Well, in DC and Marvel, it'd be mainly the villains. The villains that would have the best chance, like Brainiac, Lex Luthor would probably be able to do something with like the water supply, or just like they did in that the second Christopher Nolan Batman, where they just dumped all that hallucinogenic in the water supply of Gotham City. So yeah, so the boys would probably have the right. That's a show on Netflix. Oh no, Amazon. The Boys is showing it. And that should be coming up in a month or two, right? Mm-hmm. The next season.
Yeah, the second season is coming.
The spoiler for that was pretty good. It was right at the end. The main character, what was that? Who's the guy? Mr. Homelander. When he found out the wife he thought the Homelander raped and killed herself is alive with a child that could or may or may not be Homelander's son, So
that's right, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah,
luckily
it's a great show.
The one thing I was watching a movie called Contagion, the movie from 2011, 2010. Okay. It was a Christopher Nolan film too. I think it was Christopher Nolan or Soderbergh, something like that. No, it was Soderbergh, Steve Soderbergh. It was his Nolan's wife was in it. Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Winslet. It was a lot of so I mean it was a great cast, great movie, but they show that when they obviously it wasn't the R factor wasn't as high, not as many people died as so far, but it looks like it's kind of leveling off right now. We'll know when it comes up, but it does look positive now. But no one ever thought, they never get that part right about popular culture. That popular culture kind of makes even the bad stuff their own, Like the quarantine radio station. Your Quarantine Podcast, the Keys
Yeah.
Bartender Podcast. Come on, listen to it. Yeah, of course. You know, that's they never
Quarantine
quite
Comics.
get that we're that resilient that we're gonna go and talk about it. And I mean, imagine if the Black Death was going on. It was what 30% of some credible percentage of Europe died during the plague.
Right.
Well, it was a dark ages, so they didn't really know what the fuck was going on. So
Yeah.
that they never really get right how people will just adapt to
Right.
heinous situations. You know, even in
Right.
people putting up trying to live their everyday lives in the worst situations. Not that this is anywhere near the Holocaust, World War II, or anything like that, but it's more akin to like Irma, right?
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
a lower intensity, much lower intensity, but much longer. So
Exactly.
yeah. So
Drawn out.
yeah, drawn out. So we talked about the thing. Is there anything you would like to promote? We're going to be finishing up. We did over 50 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, just hey, check out my eBay auctions, Key Largo Comics, if you get a chance.
Key Largo Comics.
That's it.
And if you want to show some love to our podcast, the Quarantine Podcast of 2020, Florida Keys Bartender. I'm going to just call it from now on. The next one we do, that's what we're going to call it. Your Quarantine Podcast while you're at it. And go
Nice.
to our website, www.keysbartender.com. You don't need to hear, it's the keysbartender.com. Go to the page that says sponsors and find if you're gonna get some prosecco or sparkling wine or anything like that, get it from my sponsor, and they'll pay us for that. And Chrissy Brinkley, I think Chrissy Brinkley said she'll send us some nice pictures if we buy some wine from her. She didn't say that.
Sweet.
No, she didn't say that. I want to thank Steve from Key Largo Comics. Thank you, Steve. Oh, and
All right,
I'll talk
thanks.
to you later about the next time you'd like to come on. I think it's excellent, as always.
Yeah,
And
sounds
give
good.
my best to
right.
Lizzie.
I will do it.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. Once again, you wasted almost 54 minutes, and we are going to be back again later this week. I'll do probably tomorrow. I'll do a show. Thank you for listening, and if I don't see or hear from you, until next time. Bye.